So, back in the old days, if you remember, and still in some places, out more so in the country, people left their keys in their car, they left their car open, they left their door open, their door to their house, they left the back door open, and probably even prior to that, they left the front door open. And like I said, in some places in the country, mainly now because there's nobody around, people leave their house wide open. And it used to be like that in very congested places. Even in the cities, people left their houses open. They didn't need locks on the doors. Why would you need a lock on the door? No one's going to come and steal your things. Well, the majority of people wouldn't steal. The ones that respected property. But then there was the ones that wanted to steal things, so they would breach the borders of the property, they would trespass, and they would end up stealing things. And that's kind of like what beasts do. They, a beast will kill an animal, and that would be the beast's property, The beast did all the work. The beast stalked, and the beast hunted, and the beast chased and killed, and the beast probably even ate a bit of that property of its own. But the beast would maybe have to sleep or go off and tend to his young or her young, and the beast will come back to find that another beast has come and taken the meat. And that's because that's what beasts do. Beasts don't necessarily have a concept of property and private property. And so a beast will come along and take someone's property. So the other beast has to defend their property. That's what beasts need to do, defend their property from others. And, there's some vicious actions they may have to take to defend that property, and yet the other beast will still try and take it, and there'll be a confrontation. And so men have had to protect their property from other men who would come and take it. And unfortunately, that's a bit of a decline in the ideal situation of the way it could be. So men that come along and want to steal other people's property, they're kind of acting like a beast. It's not the right thing to do to go and take someone else's property. And so you had the chance of the opportunity for someone to come along and say, look, beast, no need to go and risk your life and take that private property from somebody else, steal that property. Why don't you let me do that for you? I'll take from your neighbour and I'll give it to you. All you have to do is give me your allegiance, and when you work, give me a little bit of that labour, and I'll guarantee that you're protected and you're secure, and you have your health and your welfare and your education for free. All you need to do is pay me 20% of what you make, or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 as time goes on, and I'll protect you and I'll give you these things for free. All you have to do is sign here and sign the dotted line, and I'll take that from them for you. And so the deal is done, the contract is made, the individual goes into subjection for that protection. And so the individual is indeed in a position to take their neighbour's property for their own welfare, using the king or the person or the government, the people that they've entrusted their wealth to, they've given their allegiance to. Now they've used them as a tool to take their neighbour's property for their own benefit. Kind of like the beast that goes and takes the other beast's property. Anyway, so as time goes on, more and more people join this deal, and what they are doing really is they're going against the commandments of God, who said, "Called no man father on the earth." And when you elect or decide to have another man supply your benefit, that becomes your father, rather than the Father in heaven that would supply your needs, not by force, but by charity. The people come along with a more sophisticated method of taking their neighbour's property, and it comes in the form of kings or rulers or governments that would take a man's labour by force, or the fruits of their labour by force, and distribute it to the others that have given them their allegiance. And this grows throughout time, and it gets to a point where there are so many people in the deal that names are not sufficient anymore to manage the situation. So individuals are issued a number, an identifying number, like a tax file number or a Medicare number, and these numbers are used to identify the individuals that have taken advantage of the offer of free education and free healthcare and welfare. And so, as we saw, the individuals that would take their neighbour's property, even in such a sophisticated manner as we've discussed, rather than just going to their house themselves with a gun and taking their property like a beast does, the system that they've arranged with these rulers, some would call it a beast system, and a very aptly named beast system. The system gets so large that, the rulers that are supplying these benefits by force have to issue these individual numbers to keep track of who's part of the deal, and so forth and so on, and just keep a record, and use these numbers to distribute these benefits and so forth. And so the individual that would take one of these numbers, that would be their admission into this beast system, because without it, the rulers cannot keep track. So the point being is the participation in the system is evidence of the action, of the beast in that beast system. The beast that would take from their neighbour by force, using the government, using the king, whatever, but the receipt of those benefits, that come from a wrong, is what makes that man a beast and not a man. And the number that is issued is the number of that beast as far as the ruler is concerned, and indeed as far as God is concerned. The focus should be that you have already taken one of these numbers, these marks, these identifiers, because you're already guilty of being a beast, even if you don't realise. And so, either way, you can either be convicted of that action now and repent and not participate in the system, or seek not to participate. It is a process to somehow extract yourself from these benefits and not be dependent on these men who call themselves benefactors but exercise authority. It might not be very easy in your mind to do that, but there is a way, and it's called the way in the Bible, and it's the way that was established by Jesus Christ and following Moses and Abraham before him. And so the focus should be on the conviction now, so that you may repent, rather than being kicked out of the system later, because you think it's bad that they're going to try and force you to take this number, because if they didn't force you, you'd still be wanting to participate, which is the actual wrong thing. And not that they will force you to take the number, because in Revelation it said that you might not be able to buy and sell if you don't take the number. And that is already the case, because if you don't have the number now, the tax file number, you might not sell and buy your labour either in the system. In fact, they think it's quite illegal to not use this mark that they've got already to buy and sell. So the point being is that the people that focus on, when they try and force me to take this mark, then I'm not going to do it, then I'm going to get out of the system. They don't understand that just being a part of the system is the wrong thing, which they're already part of the system, and they've got these numbers, and the reason they're in bondage is because these numbers represent a contract. They represent a deal that was made by their fathers and their fathers before them, and they just can't see their situation they're in, and that's why they're in bondage. And that's evidence of the fact that the number is the mark of the beast that they are, because they participate in this beast system and indeed act like a beast when they take from their neighbour by force through the agency of government.